Good evening, welcome to the Fire Burns Within channel. Tonight's video is all about your favourite rock and metal singers. Well, my favourite rock and metal singers, but everyone is welcome to contribute. My 25 top favourite rock and metal singers of all time. A lot of famous names, few lesser knowns, a few that I hope to turn people on to, and plenty that everyone already loves, but we're gonna have to rank them in some kind of order. First of all, I want to do 5 honourable mentions as well that failed to reach my 25, which is some big names in there as well, and they didn't make the 25, so that's how tough it was to get in. Do the honourable mentions first. David Coverdale. Yeah, in his prime, he's an amazing singer. In his prime, he's past his prime now. I've seen Whitesnake live in recent times, and he was very screamy. But in the classic times, the Coverdale voice, tip top. I mean, it should probably be in my 25, but didn't quite make it. Next honourable mention is Chuck Billy from Testament. Great singer, can do it all, screams, heavier vocals, slightly growly, but he can also do melodic vocals, his classic vocals. Third honourable mention is Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. Yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend. He's got a great voice. He'd probably be in a lot of hard rockers' top 10 vocals of all time, but for me, yeah, I gave him an honourable mention. Fourth honourable mention is Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. I love Jethro Tull. Ian is very peculiar voice. Like, you know it's him straight away. He's one of those singers that can't be mistaken. The way he pronounces words, very English type of singing. He's not a technically gifted singer, I would say. He's just like, his voice is perfect for Jethro Tull. His later voice, his voice in recent years is not good. A bit thin sounding, quite weak. Age has finally caught up with Ian, but in his prime, he's really good. He had good power in the 70s as well. And the final honourable mention is Steve Walsh from Kansas. I really like Steve Walsh's vocals. I think he's a very cool melodic singer, great tone, quite high pitched when he wants to be. But again, he's one of those, he's more or less retired. I think he just couldn't hack it live anymore, and he left Kansas, and he's more or less retired, I think. Anyway, we reached the top 25 in reverse order. I've got these in order. Number 25 is Joe Lynn Turner. He's been in many bands. He's a classic singer. He's been in Rainbow. He's been in Deep Purple, has he? I forget. Or maybe he's not been in Deep Purple. No, he's been in Rainbow. He's been in quite a few bands, but he's had his solo career. He's a very good singer. He's got quite a throaty voice, but he's also very melodic, very smooth as well. He can be smooth. So number 25 is Joe Lynn Turner. 24, Jeff Scott Soto. Jeff is a great singer. He can do it all. He can do sort of like harder, slightly metallic vocals like he's doing in his Soto project, and then he can do very smooth, silky AOR vocals. Very good singer, Jeff. He's had a long career. He's been with everybody. Malmsteen, his solo band, Talisman. God, he's been with everybody. Now with his own band Soto. He's with Sons of Apollo. He's with WET with Eric Martinson. Jeff Scott, he can do it all. Number 23 is a deceased singer, Warrell Dane, ex Nevermore, now deceased, rest in peace. Warrell had a very unique voice. He was one of those who's very he stood out very easily. You could tell it's him straight away. When I saw him live, he was really good live as well. I mean, he really he really stood out live. It was like, yeah, we know this is Warrell singing. His vocal style, it's quite high pitched and nasal, but it's also very powerful as well, very melodic too. Perfect for Nevermore. Number 22 is a legend of power metal. It's Matt Barlow, ex of Iced Earth. Matt's vocals are legendary in power metal circles. I mean, you won't hear too much of a bad word said about that guy. His vocals are superb for when in his prime they were superb. I think in his later years and in some of his post Iced Earth stuff, I don't fully love his vocals. Maybe it's the song material, but in the classic Iced Earth mold, his vocals were like superb, like really good. Number 21, another deceased singer. It's Jimmy Jamison, ex of Survivor, hard rock singer, AOR singer. Jimmy's voice was just awesome. What a brilliant singer that guy was. I mean, he had a nice bit of grit, but not too much. Not like a power metal singer or a heavy metal singer. He knew his place. Like, it's a melodic hard rock AOR singer. Can be edgy, but very melodic, very memorable. Okay, number 20. This singer is one of my favourite current singers in AOR. He's not well known at all. A lot of people wouldn't have heard of this guy unless you happen to be into AOR, melodic rock. His name is Robbie LeBlanc. He was in a band called Blank Faces or Blanc Faces from his surname with his brother. That's when I discovered him. He was actually in bands before that as well, in like the 80s and 90s doing AOR. And then more recently he was in this manufactured band from Frontiers Records. I forget the title now, can you believe it? Find Me, that's it. He was in Find Me. This is where I really fell in love with Robbie's voice. He's got an awesome voice, this chap, Robbie LeBlanc. He's very smooth, very powerful, very, very melodic. I mean, he knows how to shape great melodies. I mean, I don't know if it's the songwriters, but the way he delivers the ideas of the songwriter is just perfect. Number 19, sadly another deceased singer, Brad Delp, ex of Boston. Yeah, this guy was a genius singer. He had a superb voice. I mean, those early Boston albums that he sang on, the notes that he hits, not many singers could hit those notes. I mean, Brad Delp, just an awesome singer, and sadly not with us. Number 18 is a totally different type of singer. It's Messiah Marco Lynn from ex of Candlemass and now pretty much retired, I think. I don't hear him singing anymore. But I really fell in love with his vibrato and his style of doom metal singing. I mean, I'm not a doom metal guy at all, but when I listen to Messiah sing, he sort of like captivates you. He's got a very smooth delivery. He's got a very unique tone. He's one of those that you can tell straight away it's him as well. If you listen to like a lot of Candlemass or you become acquainted with him, you'll know straight away, yeah, this is Messiah. This sounds like him. I mean, it can't be anyone else, the way his tone is. It's a shame that he doesn't sing anymore, actually, but so it is. Number 17. This guy used to be my absolute favourite hard rock singer of the last, say, 10-15 years, but he's gone down. Hence I've put him at number 17. It's Johnny Gioeli, ex of Hardline, now of Axel Rudy Pell. Well, he's still in Hardline now. I mean, he was in the original Hardline, and now he's in the new version of Hardline. And he does like the odd song here and there as well. Johnny's voice is very, like, he's the epitome of hard rock. He's very, like, throaty, very powerful, very gritty, you know, that typical hard rock style of voice. He's not like too smooth or very AOR-ish. I would call him more hard rock. I mean, I used to love his voice when I was like starting out on getting into AOR and hard rock about 15 years ago. And then slowly, I don't know, slowly he's aged a little bit, or my taste has slightly changed to smoother singing. But I used to love the guy, and he easily makes my 25. Number 16 is a guy who's a power metal singer in the main. He's not really that well known, but I think power metal fans will recognize the guy pretty well. He's Rob Rock from Impellitteri. Rob is a great singer. He's very powerful, very meaty, very melodic, very clean too. He's not like over gritty like, say, Johnny Gioeli. He's quite smooth, quite high pitch, very powerful. I mean, a very underrated power metal singer, Rob Rock. Number 15 is a well-loved singer. He'd left the scene for a while. Now he's back. It's Roy Khan from now Conception and before Camelot, and Conception before that as well. Roy, he left the scene. His vocals are legendary. I mean, everyone loves his smooth... Well, most people that I hear that just love his smooth delivery. His voice is also one of those that stands out. Like, when you hear Khan's vocals, you know it's him. He's got this sort of like this tone. It's very clear, very clean, very smooth, no grit at all, very emotional tone. I mean, he delivers the songs very emotionally. Number 14, he's a legendary singer. It's Russell Allen from Symphony X. This guy is a powerhouse singer. I mean, this guy can do it all. He can do smooth and he can do rough, like quite rough and gritty and very powerful. I must admit, I do prefer the smooth delivery that he does over the really harder edged delivery, but the guy can do it all. I mean, he's an amazing singer. He's just an amazing singer, full stop. Okay, number 13. This guy is not a metal singer as such. It's Matthias Blatt from Falconer. He was a musical guy. They said to him, come and sing metal with us. So he came. And he blew everyone out of the water. We'd never heard such a singer before. Very baritone, very dramatic delivery, very smooth, no grit at all. Very slick voice, very like, the tone is very baritone, like I said. Very low, very dramatic. Basically a musical singer singing for a metal band. And I love his voice. His voice is like also very, very unique. I mean, I recognize his voice straight away anyway. You won't mix him up for somebody else. Okay, number 12. A legend of US classic heavy metal. It's John Oliva. John Oliva, again, he's one of those characterful voices. He's full of character. He's got his own style. It's gritty. It can be smooth. It's sort of like slightly whiny, if you like, but he's also very powerful. So it just adds character. It's not a negative to be whiny in this sense. Anyway, he is a legend, Oliva. I mean, I'm not sure what he's doing much now. I think they do Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm not sure if he's singing much with that or he's really involved with that. But I don't know. I think he's probably semi-retired now. Number 11, a legend of German heavy power metal. It's the one and only Ralf Scheepers, the German answer to Mr. Halford. The guy is just, he's something else. There's powerful screams that he can do, just superb. He can hold a great melody as well. He can do it all. I mean, he's a great power metal singer, full stop. He's one of the world's best power metal singers, no doubt about that. Okay, we're reaching the top 10. The top 10. Number 10. It's Daniel Hyman, ex of Lost Horizon and recently of more different bands. He's currently singing in 2 bands, I think. Dimhav and the Greek band Warrior Path, which hasn't released an album with him yet. But what can I say about Daniel? He's just an amazing singer. I really was thinking to put him a bit higher in the list, but then I thought there's a few guys who are more legendary than him, for me anyway, and deserve to be a little bit higher. But Daniel is just an amazing singer. I mean, the highs, the screams that he can do, and then the melodies that he can hold still as well when he's singing in a lower register. They're all absolutely amazing. This is what, I mean, Lost Horizon is a good band. They released 2 albums, but I mean, they're a great band, not a good band. But with Daniel Hyman on vocals, it's just, it gets lifted to a higher high than you could even imagine. I mean, without him, it wouldn't be as good, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, number 9 is a legend of Norway. It's Mr. Jorn Lander. Jorn is of the gritty singers, of the singers that sing with grit and heaviness and power. I think Jorn is my favourite. He knows how to control his grit, like, in a really cool way. I mean, the way he sings is like, it's rough, but it's also very, very melodic and very catchy. And he can hold a note like most singers can't. I mean, he's just a great singer, and he's perfect for singing a mix of hard rock and power metal. Either styles he can do very, very well. Number 8 is an American singer. I think this guy is very underrated. At his peak, he's very underrated. He's slightly not at his peak at the moment though, but in his legendary times, he was an amazing heavy metal singer, a pure heavy metal singer. And I'm talking about Eric Adams from Manowar. The guy could do it all as far as heavy metal singing was concerned. Like, he could do piercing screams, very harsh, and then he could do quite gentle, beautiful singing with a very good, clear tone. I mean, he had great range, you know, to go from very high, shrieking highs to very smooth, clean, lower, powerful vocals. A very cool singer, very, very much underrated. But in more recent times, I think he's lost a little bit of his edge. You know, a lot of singers do it when they reach an older age, like Eric or anybody really. Number 7 is a deceased singer. The guy is a legend. I'm going to tell you the name, everyone will know. It's Freddie Mercury from Queen. I mean, I'm not a huge Queen fan, but I can't deny Freddie's voice. The guy's voice was just 1 in a million. I mean, he could easily be number 1, and he is number 1 for a lot of people, but I put him in at number 7. I gave him a good shot at the top 10. I mean, Freddie's a legend, everyone knows. Number 6 is a guy who is much ridiculed now. He's a legendary US metal singer, let's call him. It's Jeff Tate from Queensryche, and now his own band, his own version of Queensryche. Operation Mindcrime, the band. Jeff's vocals are legendary. Again, he's one of those guys where when he starts singing, you know it's Jeff. I mean, you can't mistake him for some other dude. He sings very smooth, very clear. I think him and Khan are quite similar in feel, the way they sing. But you can tell Jeff and you can tell Khan easily apart. But Jeff is just a legend. He sang on some amazing songs. He's got a great delivery. Nowadays his vocals are sometimes not as good, but he can still be very good. Like when he sang on the Avantasia album, the songs that he sang, and when I heard them live, Jeff was superb. I mean, he was on top form. He had nothing to be ashamed about. But his own character, I mean, I don't know. He's seen as being a bit of a, I don't know, a hard guy to get along with. Let's put it that way, or more than hard. But hence everyone's splitting up with him, and his attitude is all wrong, maybe. But you can't deny his voice. I mean, I'm not even a massive Queensryche fan or anything, but I still put Jeff Tate in at number 6 on my list. Number 5, number 5 is a legendary singer. I mean, he's not a technical singer like these other guys. Well, he is in a way, but he's got his own style, the falsetto. And of course, I'm talking about King Diamond. King Diamond's vocals are like, when I first heard King Diamond, I was like, what is this guy doing? He's singing like some kind of child. Like, he's singing like a demented child. Like, his voice is so high, but it's also sort of like slightly menacing. And then he's doing these harder, slightly like edgy vocals where he doesn't do falsetto. And then he's doing, other times he's doing like really almost operatic vocals, slightly. Not like technically operatic, but he's sort of like, the way he's forming words is like an opera star would, opera singer would. But I mean, in general, King Diamond's vocals are just, once you get into them, you really fall in love with them. You look forward to the changes, you know, because he always delivers different lines with a different type of voice. It's not always the same. Like a song won't always have a high pitch. I mean, that would be very difficult for him to sing. So he'll mix up the lines all the time. It just sounds theatrical. It sounds cool. He's not what I would call a technically gifted singer, but no one else can really do what he does. A few can, but no one does it as good as the original King Diamond. Okay, the top 4 singers, 3 of them are probably in everyone's list, and 1 of them is probably in no one's list. Okay, number 4 is Bruce Dickinson. It's going to be in everyone's list. A lot of people would put Bruce in the top 3, or in even in the top 2, or maybe first. But for me, I put him 4th. I really like Bruce's classic voice. He's an amazing singer. I think in this current years, after his throat cancer and so on, his voice has changed a bit. I don't know, it seems slightly strained here and there. But in the glory days, it was like seriously power. I mean, it was like, it was going high. It was a lot of vibrato, a lot of like just powerful notes that he can hold for a long, long time. The guy's a legend, no doubt about it. He's in 4th place. Now, my number 3 is a singer that no one will probably put even in their top 25. But there's something about this guy's voice that, I don't know, it just captivates me. It's David DeFay from Virgin Steel. I mean, the way that David sings, he's also extremely unique. He does a lot of like riffing on the vocals, like he'll stretch out notes, he'll go high, he'll go piercingly high, then he'll drop down low, then he'll do a roar. Like, I think his nickname is David the Lion DeFay, and he's got this really deep roar as well. I mean, it's actually like a lion's roar when he's not singing actual words. Like, he'll just do a little squeal or a heavy roar, and then he'll go into a deep melody. Like, he's got some great knack for melodies, and in recent years he's really quite lost that. I don't know, it's age has caught up with him, or I don't know, he's lost a little bit of power. He doesn't really fully go for it in the Virgin Steel videos. He's quite like timid a little bit, which is a shame. But in the classic Virgin Steel albums, the top ones, the guy is just, he's captivating. Like, he will capture your imagination from the beginning of a song to the end. That's what he does for me anyway. I mean, obviously you've got to like Virgin Steel music as well to be captured by the guy. Obviously I do. I mean, I love the epicness of Virgin Steel, but without David DeFay in the band, it wouldn't be the same. I mean, the guy is just a legend to me, and he's in the third position slot of my all-time favorite singers. A very, very high rating. Anyway, moving on to the top two. The top two, I think you probably guessed. Number 2 is a deceased chap by the name of Ronnie James Dio. Dio was an amazing singer, full stop. Everyone knows this. I mean, Dio's either number 1, number 2, or number 3 for most people. I mean, the guy is just, he's a phenomenal singer. He was a phenomenal singer. Throaty, very powerful, but very melodic, you know, holding great melodies, and seemingly he was singing so effortlessly. Like, it wasn't like a chore for him to sing. Like, you know, you couldn't see much strain on his face while he's singing. The power's coming from, I don't know where it's coming from, the diaphragm maybe. I mean, he was a small guy, he wasn't a big guy, and he had, you know, his voice is like, where's this voice come from? The chest is not that big. The guy's body is quite small, but his voice was like 3 times the voice that a small man like that should be singing with. And his ability to convey the stories was also great. Like, he will give you like a good, you know, change of power, change of like diction. He will like give you a really strong end to a line, and then he'll go smooth on the beginning of a line. And, you know, very good mix-ups, very good change-ups. That's Dio. There's only one guy left that I haven't mentioned. Obviously, you know who he is. He's the metal god, Mr. Halford. What can I say about Rob Halford? Oh, God. It's not too much to say about him. I mean, the guy is just still doing it, still rocking, still screaming. He's 100% metal to the bone, that guy. I mean, you can't say enough good things about him. Okay, I can say that he's, with age, his voice is not as powerful as maybe it used to be, but we're talking in people's pomp, like in their absolute best, these ratings. Not just like, you know, now, but over a long career, God knows how many years with Judas Priest and on his own, this guy has been delivering classic heavy metal vocals. I mean, the way he delivers the vocals is 100% classic heavy metal. Like, he'll deviate on 1 or 2 projects to something else, but when he does heavy metal, I mean, it's Halford, you know, it's like, it's the metal god. It's, you can't mistake him for anybody else. Like, the power he brings, the attitude he brings, and the best thing of all is his sense of melody. Like, the way he forms words, the melodies are what brings a singer to, you know, to a higher level to me, and the ability to like maintain power and keep melodies flowing from line to line. Like, it's just Halford. Keep going, mate. You're the number 1 heavy metal singer, rock singer of all time. Let's have a quick rundown of those singers. Not the honourable mentions. Jolene Turner at 25. 24 is Jeff Scott Soto. 23 is Warrell Dane. 22 Matt Barlow. 21 Jimmy Jamison. 20 is Robbie LeBlanc. 19 is Brad Delp. 18 is Messiah Marcolin. 17 is Johnny Gioeli. 16 is Rob Rock. 15 Roy Khan. 14 Russell Allen. 13 Matthias Blad. 12 John Oliver. 11 Ralph Sheepers. 10 Daniel Hyman. 9 Jorn Lander. 8 Eric Adams, 7 Freddie Mercury, 6 Jeff Tate, 5 King Diamond, 4 is Bruce, 3rd is David DeFay, the mighty David from Virgin Steel, number 2 is Mr. Dio, the legend, and the number 1 is Rob Halford, the metal god. Let us know your favourite singers in the comments.